Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a lovely day. Today I'm actually going to do a video that has been quite requested on my channel, which in itself is just a brand new thing to me to actually have requests. So thank you to those of you that did request that video. And by all means, if you've got any other videos that you would like me to film, if there's anything you want to see, then just drop it down in the comments below. I am happy to create videos that you want to see. Obviously, it's really important for me to share the things I'm passionate about, but if there's something in my minimalist journey that you think, oh, she's never talked about that before, she's never shared it, let me know and I will see what I can do and put it together. So this video is going through what is in my phone and how minimalistic is it, how do I store things in my phone, and so on. So my phone is the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge. I really liked the edginess of it, and because then I'm a really paranoid person, I then put it in a case that means you can't really get the benefit of the edginess of it. So well thought out there, Charlotte. I really should have known. I've always had like one of these over the top protective cases, because you know how you can get the ones that, you know, just clip onto the back, even though some of them have like those blockers around this like edging part so that if you drop it, the screen wouldn't actually touch the floor. Yeah, I'm just paranoid. I'm paranoid. So anyway, this phone was originally released in 2016, so it's already a model that is 5 years old, and I got it personally in October of 2017. I've mentioned it in the past, I have never been a person that goes for a new model, a new release of phone. The phone is usually about a year old when I start my contract, because they are significantly cheaper when it's an older model. So I'm pretty sure by the time I got my Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge, the S8 was already out. So as I said, I got this in October 2017. I had it on a 30-month contract, which meant the contract came to an end in April 2020. And almost a year later, I am still rocking this same phone. So if I manage to keep this till October, which if nothing goes wrong with it, I will do, I will have had this phone for 4 years. I do not see the point in upgrading a phone just for the sake of it when they say, oh, well, you're eligible for an upgrade now. And it's like, well, yeah, but I'm gonna have to fork out a whole bunch of money for it. I know some people are against having contracts because in the long run, you do end up paying more for it, but I didn't want to pay for my handset outright. And now I've paid off the handset completely over my 30-month contract. I now pay £9 a month for my text, calls and data. And that is it, that's all I pay for. I cancelled my insurance when it was paid off because I figured if anything does happen to it, then fine, I'll go into a new contract, I'll start again. But unless something happens, you know, I don't want to be paying an extra £15 a month for insurance on it. It's not really worth it anymore. It is in the same gold case that I've also had for 3 and a bit years for how long I've had this phone. It is really like dropping to bits at this point. And I would not begrudge myself a new case. Someone actually did comment in one of my videos when I mentioned that I'd had the same phone case for so long, that a new phone case is kind of a way to make you feel like you've got a fresh new phone. And I know some people go really mad with that, like they have different colours for different things, and if I did replace my phone case, I would get rid of this one. It would be like my only phone case. But I kind of understand that as a way of freshening up your phone and making it feel like new again. So yeah, mine is a little bit dingy. I would like something that does just click on, but this can be handy, you know, when you want to slip in your cards or something. I know you're really not supposed to put those near your phone, but like if you pop into the shops, it can just be helpful to have a case like this. But yeah, I could do with a new case, getting a bit dingy. So that's the exterior. I'm going to pop my actual screen up so you can see it, and I will show you what we have going on here. So here is my home screen. So the background is just a photo of myself and my husband on our wedding day. I know a lot of people, particularly more minimalist people, like to have very basic photos, or even just like a generic, I don't know what you'd call it, like a background image that's not actually a photo, it's just something plain and simple. I know some people also go black and white with that. I would be very tempted to go black and white, but I wouldn't want to do the whole phone black and white because, you know, I like to use things like YouTube and Instagram, and I watch Netflix on my phone, so I do appreciate it being in colour, and I wouldn't really want to switch back and forth. In terms of this, I don't think it's particularly distracting. You know, I don't go to my phone just to stare at this picture. So that's my background picture. And on the home screen, I have got all of the apps that I use the most. So my internet app, I do also have Chrome on my phone, but I generally just use the Samsung internet app. Instagram, Time Hop. I am ashamed that I still have Time Hop. Let me show you why. Yeah, I have checked Time Hop for 1,301 consecutive days without once missing it. That doesn't seem like a minimalistic thing to do. And it's almost like at the point where I am waiting for the day I forget it so then I can just delete the app. But until then, I'm not going to purposefully do it. I know that the year rollover is on my dad's birthday, which is in July. So if I make it to July, I'll have done it for 4 years, which is really not cool. Anyway, back to the homepage. I've also got Fitbit. That's an app I use quite a lot. I track my steps all the time. She says I've not got my watch on because it's charging right now. But I sometimes log my food if I'm being particular about calories, but when I'm watching what I eat, I don't always do that the calorie way. I try to do it more of the types of food I eat way, but I use various bits and pieces in Fitbit, so I have that all the time. WhatsApp is my main messaging service. I rarely send text messages. The only time I do send text messages is if I'm in a place with just no signal in terms of your data connectivity. Facebook, because I'm old school, Facebook is my only place where I have sort of a personal social media profile. I do have a personal Instagram, but I rarely use it. I mean, you guys see, I have Instagram for this channel, but I am much more active in terms of making videos than making Instagram content. So whilst I'm there a little bit, and you know, when I'm actually passionate about what I'm posting, but I don't like to just post on Instagram for the sake of it, and you know, I'm not as present over there. So I do have a personal Instagram, but that never gets used. And then I have my Charlotte's Minimalism Journey Instagram as well. I've then got my memos, which I use loads just for taking little notes like video ideas or anything I need to make a record of later and I just want to make a note of it. I also do shopping lists and things like that. I've then got the camera, obviously, selfie time, you know. I take photos of quite bizarre things. Now I think about it, like I take photos of my food, but not to post on Instagram, just to send to my mum. Yeah. Then the YouTube app, big priority for me. The clock, just so it's easier to set an alarm, my email and the calculator. So they're my most used apps and I have those on my home screen. You can see I've also got the time, I've got the date, and I've got the weather, which as you can see, it's 5 degrees. And if I just tap that, it does open up the actual weather app. Okay, so if we go into the apps, you can see I have everything organized into folders. And that's just for organization purposes because I do not like being faced with that screen with just a jumble of apps in a random order. I feel like even if I moved them into a certain order, I still wouldn't be okay with that. So I try to keep things really simple. So you can see in my contacts, that is literally my contacts and phone. If I need to make a phone call, that is where I go. These folders are automatically sorted alphabetically, so that's not something I decided, but that probably would have been my first folder, but then the rest is not really in order of any use, it is just alphabetical. I've then got educational, which is a very ambitious name for what's in this folder. Drops is a language app, so I downloaded that during the original lockdown back in March 2020, and that was because I was trying to learn some keywords and phrases of a new language, just for something to do for fun. I did learn quite a bit and I really enjoyed using Drops, and I use Drops rather than, I think it's called Duolingo, if I remember correctly, because Drops had the language I wanted to learn and the other one didn't. That was Icelandic, by the way. Why would you want to learn a language that, you know, you can speak in various parts around the world when you can use a language that can only be used in one very small country? No, I'm just fascinated by Iceland. I've never been, but it still fascinates me, and so I really wanted to learn the language. It's a very difficult language to learn, but yeah, I have that on there. Since going back to work, I barely go on there. Even when I get the notification to remind me, I still don't. So I feel like what I did learn, a lot of it has now just wandered off because I didn't practice, but you know, it's there if I ever want to go back to it. I then have the Goodreads app, which I don't feel like I use in the traditional sense for sort of reviewing books and leaving ratings and things like that. I am just using it to track how much I read this year, because as you may know, I have a goal to read all of my books that I have outstanding, if you like, this year. So at the moment I'm reading A Clash of Kings by George R.R. Martin, and so I am just tracking my progress on there. It's interesting to see it as a percentage. When you're still on your first book, it's not very exciting. I'm interested to see sort of over the course of the year how many pages I've read in total, but otherwise I don't feel like that app provides me with that much value. I mean, I could just keep track myself. So that's there temporarily. We'll see how it goes. And then I just have Play Books in case I wanted to download a book electronically. I've never done that on my phone, and I don't know that I would. I feel like if I moved to electronic books, I'd probably want a Kindle. But then having everything in one place on one device is also something I am all about. So it's there in case I need it. You may also wonder why I've got reading in educational, and that's just for me, really. I mean, I know reading fiction and non-fiction can be educational in its own respect. It's a good way to learn, it's a good way to develop your mind. But for me, I wanted to keep it separate from entertainment, even though I have been reading for pleasure, because it almost feels like just a little bit of an encouragement, a confidence boost. I've picked up a book and I've done some reading, and it's something to better myself. You know, rather than just sticking Netflix on, I just feel like there's more advantages to reading, so I'd rather encourage myself to do that. So I'm kind of telling myself if I read, that's bettering myself, whereas if I just put Netflix on, that's just for entertainment. And then we have got the entertainment section, which has got BBC iPlayer, Netflix and Prime Video, so if I want to stream anything on my phone, and then Amazon Music and YouTube Music. YouTube Music just popped up one day, it replaced my in-phone music app, and I just use that for music stored on my phone. I don't use that for any offline streaming at all, really. Since I've had a car, which is quite a long time now, but I rarely listen to music on my phone. I mean, when I used to commute to university on the train every day, I would listen to music on my phone through my earphones every single day. And now I'm not so bothered. Like, I rarely listen to music on my phone now. So that's that. I've then got games, and I actually just uninstalled the Google Play games because I don't even see the point in having that. But these are the games I have. So Picture Cross and Killer Sudoku, I kind of just do when I've got 5 minutes, and I find it really helps just to really concentrate my brain on something, and I like both of those. Killer Sudoku, I just do the daily challenge if I remember to log on that day, so it's probably about 5 minutes, but I don't remember to do it every day. And then Picture Cross, whilst there is a lot in there to complete, I feel like it's a game that I will slowly complete over time. Just when I've got 5 minutes, I might do one, and then once I've completed it, I'll just delete the app. Rummy Cub, I really like. It's just a game I enjoy, and I play that online just with random people. And Woody Puzzle, I have kept on a bit of a, what's the word? I want to say sentimental level about a game. When we used to go on holiday with my family, see, this is how long I've had this phone. I had 2 apps that we used to play in restaurants when we were waiting for our food, and that was 4 Pics 1 Word, which we got to such a high level on that it went all weird on us and started just giving us words like dog, cat, and it was like really, really obvious short words, and we were like, have we just broken the game or something? So we got rid of that, but the other one was Woody Puzzle, and we would all try to beat each other's scores, and for ages we were around, I want to say the 2000 mark, and I think there was just one day when I absolutely killed 2000. That was gone. And yeah, so my high score now is 79. So now I just can't delete that. I've then got Homescapes, which is another one that I just work towards over time. Homescapes, I feel like I downloaded that once when I was ill a very long time ago and sat playing it because I was ill and in bed, and we don't have a TV in our bedroom, so you know, once you've exhausted all you can be bothered with on Netflix, it was like, well, what do I do? So I was ill in bed, so I played it then, And then if you don't play it for a while, which I didn't, when you log in again, it gives you like loads of free lives, so you are encouraged to play it more. So then I was ill again, like probably like a year and a half later, and I got all these free things, so then I play it. So I'm slowly sort of working through that. It seems to be when I get sick. So yeah, that exists. Pokemon Go is just there because it has to be. I got it. I think I got to about level 32. I don't think I've been on it in probably 6 to 8 months, I would say. But you know, it's there just when you fancy it, just when you're out and about and you think, yeah, let's have a look. Especially if you go to somewhere new, which I haven't done in a very long time, but I feel like it's always interesting just to see what there is. And then Among Us I have because we had a, what would you call it, like a Zoom games night, and we all then downloaded Among Us and we played sort of online, but so we were all there together, but we were playing online. And obviously the idea is you don't talk to each other, so we were all just sat there on Zoom but silently playing on our phones, giggling away. So I have that, and it just seems like too much effort to uninstall it to then install it again on our next games night. So I feel like that is a lot of games to have. In the health folder, I have just got Couch to 5K app, which I keep getting to the same week on. I can't remember if it's week 5 or 6, but there's one day where the day 1 is like you run for 5, you rest for 3, you run for 5, you rest for 3, you run for 5. And just to point it out, I am a rubbish runner. I've always said people in my family of my genes, we're not made for running. Me and my dad, we're built of the same stuff. And my mum, she can go off and she can run and run and run. I should probably point out, I started Couch to 5K in January 2020 with my mum and dad because they only live around the corner. So it was really convenient for us all to go together. And I really wanted to encourage my dad to be more active. And then lockdown hit and they carried on and they did it all without me, and now they can run like near enough 5K and I'm just there like, I can run down the street, but that's about it. Me and my dad, we always joke that people of our genes aren't made for running, but my mum, she's like well away, she's like meant to be a runner. So yes, anyway, I digress. There's 2 days side by side where one is run for 5, rest for 3, run for 5, rest for 3, run for 5. And then the next day it's like run for 8. And I'm like, that's a bit of a jump for someone who's not built for running. And so between January and March of 2020, I built up to the point where I could run 10 and 10. And then I didn't do it for ages. And so I dread to think what I can do now. But I actually stopped using Couch to 5K because the jumps were too much. I then started using the stopwatch on my phone and did my own times. But I have kept it in case I want to go back, and I probably won't have to start right at the beginning, but I'll probably have to go back a little bit. And then the Fitbit app just lives in there as well, even though that's on the home screen. Then I've got all my messaging. So email, the email app I use for my personal email, and then my Gmail I use for anything connected to like my YouTube and stuff. So I can have more than one account on my emails, but I kind of like having the 2 separate. Then we've got text messaging and WhatsApp, and then Messenger for all of us old school folks. Am I right in thinking Messenger came out of Facebook? Like you used to have Facebook chat and then over time that like morphed into Messenger. And I have that just because I have some, I'd say more distant relatives, cousins, that when they get in touch with me, they always get in touch with me on Facebook. So it comes through on Messenger. So I have that. Then in Office, so as you'd expect, it's got the Microsoft Office Basic 3, and it's also where all my files are stored. I don't feel like I have a lot of actual files. Most of what is stored in my phone is pictures, but not actually files, but I think that folder is pretty self-explanatory. Shopping, I was so good with this. I went through and deleted all of the store apps that didn't serve a, if you like, savings, club card, points sort of purpose. And even then, if I've got like a physical club card, like Boots is brilliant for points, the Advantage Points, is it Advantage Points, Advantage Card scheme. Every pound you spend, well it used to be, I don't know what it is now, but every pound you spend you get 4 points and each point equals a penny. And like over the course of years of having mine, I never spent it, and I went in the shop one day and I had like £40 in points over a lifetime of spending. It was lovely. I bought some makeup and it didn't cost me a penny. That was a very long time ago. So I have the BP app. No idea really, because when I go get petrol, you know, I scan my BP card, but I don't really look at what the points accumulate to. Good On You is the app that tells you about the practices and ethics of fashion and clothing companies. So I use that if I'm going to do some clothes shopping, which granted isn't a lot, but I have that just to check out brands and do my research. Morrison's more, so Morrison's can store your points. Morrison's, if you're not from the UK, is just one of our leading supermarkets. I thought the big ones are Tesco and Asda, and then you have like Morrison's, Sainsbury's, and you have Waitrose, which is the posh one, and then you have like Aldi and Lidl, which are more sort of budget, I guess. Morrison's is kind of like a little bit lower. It's nice and cheap and cheerful, and it's also just our most local. We do have a Tesco in the nearest town, because for us where we live, we're sort of almost a little bit countryside-y, not completely, but like we have little towns nearer to us than we do the nearest major city. So there's a big Tesco in our nearest town, but in sort of more local to us, we have a little Morrison's. The Play Store is also there. I don't know why I put that in shopping, because I would never ever spend money on an app. I've never spent money on an app. I've never bought an in-app purchase. Just, I don't see the point. And then this app, the Stocard app, I think that's how you pronounce it, looks like how you pronounce it, is just somewhere where you can store all your store cards. So for example, I have like the Works, and I have Boots and different sorts of things. So rather than carrying the physical card with you, the barcode is saved in there. So I've never actually used it because I downloaded it during lockdown, and I haven't been in a physical shop in I don't know how long. So that'll be interesting to see, but it's sort of so you don't have to carry all your cards around, which is very nice. I've then got my social media. So as you can see, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, then my Time Hop, and YouTube Studio. So I don't have Snapchat, I don't have Twitter. For me, I like to minimize my social media usage in terms of on a personal level. I rarely post to Facebook. Like I would probably post to Facebook if I had like a big life event that I wanted to share with my friends and family. I should also add, I only have about 100 people now on Facebook, mostly family members, and I would say closer friends, but not friends I would see like all the time. But you know, people that are like a little bit interested in what's going on in your life and they like to stay in touch. I went from, you know, being one of those people that had all their school friends and then all their university friends, and you know, when it gets to like, I mean, I was never super popular, but mine got up to about 600 people just from people you know, and I know there's people that have got like over 1,000, but you know, I've never been popular. So mine got up to about 600, and I was like, yeah, but these are people that I've like met once at a party when I was at uni, like, so I really cut that down. But I really don't post a lot to social media. And then there was also the choice when I started YouTube if I wanted to also have Twitter and Snapchat and TikTok. And for me, I don't know if it's because I'm more minimal in my mindset, but I don't want to have to update Instagram and update Twitter and make content for TikTok. I am very happy knowing that for my 2 weekly uploads that go straight to YouTube, and that I've got that community tab on YouTube if I do want to speak to people. And then if there's something that is just more day to day that I want to post about, if something relevant to my content comes up, I can post that on Instagram. I don't want lots of other platforms all over the place. That doesn't really suit me. It's just a lot going on. And I won't take you through all the things in tools because there's quite a bit of nonsense in there, because it kind of ended up being the miscellaneous folder. So it's the main storage for some of the things you've seen on the homepage, like the camera, the calculator, and things like that. It's also got things like my calendar, the Authenticator app, Google Maps, and really just a bunch of random bits and pieces. It also includes apps I don't actively use, just that, you know, are needed for the running of the phone. And it's also got apps that you can't delete but I don't use. So, you know, when you come across an app and you're like, what is that? And you go to uninstall it, it's like, you're not allowed to do that. It's like, ooh. So that's just in there. So there's quite a bit of other stuff in there. And that's it. That's how I organize my phone. I think as far as a phone goes, it's not actually very minimal. I think it's somewhat organized. I think I am good in where my phone allows me, only keeping apps that I genuinely use. And you know, I'm comfortable deleting an app when I realise I'm not going to go back to it. So for example, after this year, if I realise that that Goodreads app doesn't really serve me any more purpose, it doesn't really add value, I'll just delete that. And you know, if I download a game for a games night and we didn't get on that well with it and I know we're not going to go back to it, I'll just let that go. There's no point in it sitting on my phone. So I'm happy to let apps go. That doesn't bother me at all. Then the only thing I didn't mention is sort of like the storage in my phone. I have one little printout of our wedding photo in here, and then in one of these little slots here, if I can get my fingers in it, I keep an emergency £10 note just in case, you know, if you ever go out and about and you need it, I've got an emergency £10 note just in case. And then, not gonna lie, there's then the bit of a junk pocket going on here. So it's always interesting to see what I hide in there, because it's always something that needs a clear out. And by always something that needs a clear out, this is the first time I'm actually thinking of clearing it out. So I have Ash's phone number, but I won't show you Ash's phone number. Not that I know Ash personally. Ash was the man at Oak Furnitureland who, when we moved into our house nearly 2 years ago, told me to give him a call if there was a delay in us moving, because we were having all our bedroom furniture delivered and I was really worried we'd like lose out as a result of us, like our house move being pushed back or something. And I was like, well, what do I do? I bought this furniture before we'd physically moved in. So, well, what do I do if we haven't moved in time? He was like, you give me a call. This is my number. You let me know. I should probably let Ash's number go. I have also got some vouchers from the last time I went to bingo. Oh, I remember mentioning in one of my videos where I mentioned that I'd been to bingo. I've been to bingo like 3 times in my whole life. I'm not like some major bingo fiend or anything. People mentioned like it made them laugh because in some parts of the world it's like a really old lady thing to do, whereas there is definitely still the older clientele in the UK with bingo, but also a lot of younger people are now sort of owning it and taking it on, and there is definitely a younger audience for bingo. And you know, me and the girls, a couple of times we went down to the bingo because we thought it was fun. So yeah, vouchers. But as I say, I've been like 3 times ever and never won anything. I have got the business card of the man that came to do our lawn. I have 1 second-class stamp. I have my father-in-law's, I say, new address when he moved and we needed to go and visit. I think he probably moved about 1.5 years ago. New address. I have an Alton Towers theme park ticket from when I went in July 2018. I'm not lying to you when I say my phone's really old, you know. And I have some of the McDonald's Monopoly stickers. This one expired May 2019, so don't think I will be getting £5 off personalised socks. That can all go in the bin, so at least my phone's now a little bit lighter. I'm gonna stop now. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already. And remember to let me know down in the comments if there are any videos you would like me to film, anything about my minimalist journey you want me to share that I haven't shared already. That is all from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, take care. Bye.